Hello everyone, and welcome to the DPB podcast. I am your host, Ryan Mondes with DisneyPinsBlog.com, the latest news on Disney pin trading and collecting from around the world. This is episode number 124 for the week of March 19th, 2018.
Welcome to the Disney Pins Blog Podcast.
Alright, welcome back to the show, everyone. Hope you guys had a great weekend. Pin news is light this week. I really don't have anything for housekeeping. I just want to mention that all of our websites now, Leaning Palm, Disney Pins Blog, DPB Podcast, DPB Store, and MadeWithMagic.co are all on the new server. So everything should be running correctly and a lot quicker now. So I'm thankful that that is complete and we are back to normal on the website. And then later for Disney Pin Chat, have an exciting segment. My friend Chris Roman, he's a Disney pin artist. He's joining later, and we're going to discuss the design of Disney pins. All right, so let's get into the pin news. First, we'll start off with the Disney heroines. We had a surprise release last week on March 12th. That was Monday. The third pin set was released out at Mickey's of Glendale. Of course, these are cast member exclusives. Extremely hot right now. Everyone wants these heroine profile pins. Those are all limited edition of $250. Retail price is $18.95. More like $200 to $300 now. Next, let's head over to Disney Studio Store Hollywood. They had two surprise releases this past week. One for the Spring Blooms pin collection. This was released on Friday, March 16th. It was Marie from the Aristocrats. Limited edition of just $150. Retail price is $24.95. And that was another hot one. And then on St. Patrick's Day, on Saturday, there was another surprise pin release. This one features Kermit from the Muppets. He's playing his banjo. It has a rainbow in the background, and he's sitting on a log next to a pot of gold. That is limited edition of just $200 with a retail price of $22.95. Next, let's head over to Disney Store and Shop Disney. The third Mickey Mouse Memories pin collection was released. We did the blog post on it in social and also have a video up on the YouTube channel if you guys want to check that out. I really like this release a lot. It was themed to the 1930s. Retail price is $16.95, and I believe it's still available online. Next, we'll head over to Shanghai Disneyland. We got a preview of their spring 2018 pins that are coming out on March 25th. And there's a popular one for Zootopia. It has Nick Wilde and Judy Hopps as an egg and says Happy Hopping with some dangle elements on it. And there's a few other, looks like limited edition Disney springtime pins, as well as a mystery pin box. I'm excited to see the other pins in this collection. We just have a small preview. It looks like they're egg-shaped pins similar to the Hong Kong Disneyland release, which I just did an unboxing video on our YouTube channel of that set if you guys want to take a look. Our friends at Fig Pin are releasing official Marvel pins coming out in May, and we did a first release on the website of these pins. If you guys want to check out the photos, there's one of Iron Man, Black Panther, Iron Spider, Thanos, and then a Thanos Rare pin with a yellow costume. These are all themed, of course, to Marvel Avengers Infinity War, and these pins will have a retail price of $14.99 coming to select retailers in May 2018. We'll have more information once these pins are actually released. And then finally, we'll hit up Disney Parks in America. There's a tour at Epcot called the Gardens of the World, and it's only available during the Epcot International Flower and Garden Festival, and they're giving a pin to guests who attend this tour. It's a 3-hour tour. Retail price is $85. But the pin says Gardens of the World on it. It has Spaceship Earth in the background with Judy Hopps. It's a great looking pin, very colorful. And it's a 3-hour tour in the morning at Epcot, and you learn about the topiaries and different landscaping techniques. That pin is getting some hype, and I'm actually going to be taking this tour in April. Alright, now for the new pin releases this week at Disney Parks. First, we'll start off with Disneyland. These are all being released on March 22nd. The first one is the next Once Upon a Time pin. This is the Emperor's New Grove pin, limited edition of 2,000. And it's that hinge pin. There was a Little Mermaid one that was recently released, and then a Wreck-It Ralph. And now we have this one for March. Also this Thursday is the next bi-monthly series for Under the Sea. This is a new collection at Disneyland for 2018, and this one features Ariel and Flounder from The Little Mermaid. And that's limited edition of 2000 as well. Heading over to Walt Disney World, they have their next Lunchtime Tales pin. This one features Snow White, limited edition of 1500. I think the retail price on that is around $16, and that'll be released on Thursday, March 22nd as well. Those pins are selling out pretty quickly now since they're a low edition size. And then my favorite release of the week is the Big Hero 6 Puzzle Mystery Pin Set. There are 10 different pins in this set, and it's available on both coasts, Disneyland and Walt Disney World. It's limited edition of 1100, and it has chaser pins of 600. I'm going to try to get a few boxes, maybe to do a video on the YouTube channel. I collect Baymax, so hopefully I can get the Baymax pin from this puzzle. Alright, that's going to do it for pin news this week. Now let's head into Disney Pin Chat with our special guest. Alright, so for today for Disney Pin Chat, I have my friend Chris Roman joining us. How are you today?
Good. How's it going?
Good. Thanks for joining the podcast.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, pleasure having you on. I know we follow each other on social media. You are a pin designer. So
correct.
That's why I wanted to have you on today. Just ask you a couple questions, and I'll go from there. So how did you get involved with Disney?
So it was kind of crazy how it happened. I went to school for character animation. I started out in Chicago, and then I moved out to San Francisco. So I was out there for a while, and then once I graduated, I came home, worked some odd jobs, and eventually I kind of transitioned to becoming a motion designer in Chicago, doing motion graphics. And doing more design stuff than I was actually doing like character animation. And then a few years ago, just kind of for fun, I started designing Disney pins, just kind of like I made it sort of like a weekly challenge. So it was like, just design a pin every week, just to kind of get me doing some more design work. And I had a lot of fun doing it. And I was like, oh, this is really fun. Yeah. And a friend of mine kind of saw those designs, and they were like, hey, this company is looking for a pin designer to do Disney pins. You should apply. So I applied. I sent them just kind of the fan art that I was doing and, my other portfolio. And I did some design tests for them. They liked me. And now I do Disney pins.
That's awesome. So
yeah.
How long have you been involved with designing pins?
I'm pretty new. So I'm actually just finished my first year in early February of
nice.
2017 is when I started. So
a
little over a year now. So it went by very fast, and I did a lot of pins.
Nice. So are you a Disney fan at heart, or do you just you do this for work?
Oh, or? Ryan, if you could see the other walls in this office.
I see the awesome painting behind you there.
Yeah, that's from Get a Horse. And then I got a tiki room over here, and there's man, yeah. So I grew up going to the parks pretty much my whole life. That was just sort of our like family vacation type thing. So I've always been a big fan. I was obsessed with pins when I was little. I had a ton of them, and then I don't know. I just kind of stopped collecting them. But I was always interested in them. Yeah. So it was kind of cool that it kind of came back, but. Yeah, love Disney.
So growing up, did you go to Disneyland or Walt Disney World?
Exclusively Walt Disney World.
Okay.
When I went out to San Francisco for school, I went to Disneyland for the first time. I forget what year it was, maybe like 2012, around there. But that was awesome. That was like going to Disney for the first time again, even though it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
So that was fun.
Nice. So you live in Chicago now. And
yes.
How often do you get down to the parks?
Usually once a year I try. My fiance and I just went out. Actually, we were out there during the hurricane back in September. So that was fun.
Wow. Hopefully you stayed safe.
We did, yes. And the parks were empty. So, it was fun. So we went out for Halloween. Yeah, we were out for the Halloween party. And we're going to try and go again for the Christmas party this year.
Cool, that'd be fun. do you want to talk a little bit about like the design process and
Sure.
your perspective? I know, longtime podcast listeners, we've had Keith on our podcast before. He's a Disney artist for Shop Disney, Disney Store. So yours is a little different. I know you kind of design pins for Disney parks.
Yes.
I'm not sure what other entities at Disney you design for, but you want to kind of explain your
Sure.
like start to finish process?
Yeah. So I work with a design firm that kind of specializes in doing pins exclusively. But I work with Disney as my main client. And I've done pins for the parks, Disneyland, Disney World, Mickey's of Glendale,
Nice.
cast member.
Those are the hot ones right now. WDI.
Oh, yeah. Oh, they are hot. Just recently I started doing them for Disney Soda Fountain, which I think is the Disney Studio Store.
Yeah, Disney
Hollywood,
Studio Store,
I think.
Hollywood. Yep.
But yeah, man, those Mickey's of Glendale pins, they're something.
Yeah,
and huge. I didn't realize how big they were when I first got my. So basically, to back up a little bit. So when I get a project from Disney, it comes from one of our producers where I work, or one of our art directors will send me a project, and usually it's like we need a pin for the anniversary of Wreck-It Ralph. 5th anniversary, it'll be Mickey's of Glendale. They'll give me the size, and sometimes they'll give me some direction. Might say like we want Ralph, we want like a Sugar Rush theme, or we want it to be like of the cake in the movie. So I'll kind of base those designs off of their direction. But sometimes, like for the movie anniversary collection, that's the cast member pins. Those ones I did. So I think the ones that have come out so far is like Steamboat Willie, Three Little Pigs. Yeah. And there's a whole bunch more that I did. But those are a lot of fun because it's basically like we need a pin for the 90th anniversary of Steamboat Willie. And that's it. And then I can just kind of go to town and come up with whatever I want. Cool. So I'll start with a rough sketch that I don't send. I'll do, some thumbnails. I'll just kind of figure some stuff out on my own. And then once I get a concept that I like, then I'll do a tighter sketch. I'll send that over. And then that gets looked at by my art directors. And then if everything checks out, they'll send that to Disney. And then from there, if they like it and they approve the sketch, it'll go into ink, color, and what's called mechanical, which is like getting all the technical stuff figured out. So I work exclusively on the concept design side.
Got it.
So it's sort of like I'll do a drawing, and then that gets sent to somebody like figure out how to make this work mechanically. And
so you're basically doing the sketch of the pin. You're not putting the color in or anything else.
So I do the color sometimes. It sort of depends on timing and if I have an idea of what I want for the color. Or sometimes it will be specifically asked, like we want a rough sketch with color, or we just want a sketch. But for the most part, it's kind of up to me. And I do like to include color if I can, because that's kind of a big part of the design.
Right, cool.
But sometimes that's left up to whoever's doing the inking. And I've done a little bit of inking, but I kind of like the concept design side. So I like to spend some more time, just drawing.
Right. So how long is the process from whenever they give you the idea until it goes through the approvals and then onto ink? What's the rough estimate of timing?
So I usually get between 3 to 5 days to do a sketch. Sometimes there's a much quicker turnaround. It could be a day or two, or sometimes I'll get a week. And then once it's approved, I think it immediately goes into the next round. Occasionally, it'll come back to me after it's been through mechanical. So sometimes, they might change their mind, or they'll say like, actually we want a different pose. So then it could come back to me. And there is, there's some rounds of revisions, but usually it's pretty basic, like changing a pose, or we want to add a different element or something like that. So takes me about a week. I get about a week
Okay.
roughly.
Are you working on multiple pins at once, or that you
Oh
just
yeah.
okay? So you're not really just focusing on that one pin. You're doing lots of different
Yeah.
characters and
hmm
themes.
Yeah, so I can have anywhere between 2 to 5 or more, depending on if I'm doing revisions for previous designs plus my new ones.
Got it.
Um, and I only actually work part time. I have a full time day job that I do.
Oh wow. Okay.
So I do this sort of like in the evenings and in my free time and on the weekends.
Got it.
So I kind of what's that?
What do you do full time?
Oh, full time. I'm a motion designer, animator, illustrator. I work at a production company in Chicago. It's called Real Captivation, and we do sort of like animated videos
Wow.
for corporations, theaters around the area.
Very cool.
So yeah, a lot of
That's
design
awesome.
in my day.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Yeah, but
So
this is a lot of fun to do. So
yes,
yeah.
it sounds like it would be a very interesting and fun job to do.
Mhm.
It sounds like you're designing lots of pins for Disney parks and resorts and cast member pins.
Yes.
And
I've done a lot of like the limited edition sort of like holiday or event pins. Like I did the President's Day, the Spring Break 2018 Genie pin.
I like that pin a
Um,
lot.
yeah, that one came out
That's
great.
very nice.
I was really excited about that one.
Yeah.
I've done the Spring 2018, the Winnie the Pooh one that just came out.
Oh, that's another great one.
Yeah, that was a lot of
Cool.
fun too. And then yeah, there's a lot I could
Cool.
keep listing them, but
So the pins you're designing right now, I'm assuming they won't be released until later on the year or maybe even next year. Like how
yeah.
far is like whenever you designed that genie pin, when was that?
I can't remember exactly. I know it was last year. Typically I don't want to say it's exactly a year, because basically right now, I just got done doing some Christmas designs for
Okay.
this year.
Oh, cool.
So, however many months that would be.
Yeah, about like
Um,
9 months lead
yeah,
time.
yeah, I would say so.
Cool.
But there are some pins that get turned around a lot quicker than that. So some of them could go through in a couple months. There's ones that I've designed that I've seen on the shelves within 2 to 3 months.
Wow.
But then there's some that will get spaced out throughout the year.
Okay.
And like the movie anniversary collection, we kind of designed those ones all together, or at least I did last year. And then I think those are sort of staggered throughout the year.
Gotcha. Yeah, that was like a monthly release, I believe.
Yeah.
Cool.
I don't know if the one for March has come out yet.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything. The last one I saw, I think, was Three Little Pigs.
Yeah, and I think that was for February.
I believe so.
Yeah. So yeah, so it kind of varies depending on the schedule, but typically it's 8 or 9 months or so.
Gotcha.
But wait.
For Disney Studios Tour Hollywood, are you doing the like monthly releases or the Pin Shader Delight pins with the little ice cream?
I haven't done any of those ones. Those are really fun. There's some anniversary pins, and I'm sort of new to the Studio Store Hollywood releases,
Right.
so I know those are kind of have their own thing going on. I kind of try to follow that.
Yeah.
So
It's a whole nother world. The Studio
I
Store.
know. The whole pin trading world is wild.
It is.
And I kind of got sort of just thrust into it when I started doing this, because I like to know when my pins are coming out, and I have a rough idea, but I don't know exactly. So I kind of like to follow the pin trading community and kind of keep up, and I also like to sort of see what people like and kind of use that when I'm concepting and doing sketches. Like what do people like? What are people collecting? What are characters people like?
That's a great idea.
Yeah, and obviously I can't dictate all of that. It sort of depends on the projects that come in, but I kind of have that in the back of my head.
Right.
And what do people like? What do I like? What would I like to see? So that's always fun.
What are some of your favorite pins you've designed?
Oh man. So I think the Steamboat Willie 90th anniversary is was my favorite so far.
Nice.
That was one of the first ones that I did early last year.
Okay. That's the cast member release, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's a 46th anniversary for Disney World that I did. That was another cast. And
yeah, I remember that one.
It had
Nice.
the castle and the little spinning small world head and monorail.
Yeah, I liked that pin a lot. It had a lot of different elements of Magic Kingdom, which was awesome.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun because they really didn't give me a whole lot of direction. It was just sort of like, we want to pin for the 46th anniversary, and I kind of was able to put a little bit of my style into it, which when you're dealing with characters, it's always important that they're on model and everything looks like the character. So there's some room for kind of working your style into it, but then there's these sort of like open pins that you can kind of play with. So I like that one a lot.
Nice.
The Christmas countdown last year was a lot of fun too. That was the Olaf and the wreath with his spinning nose.
Yeah, yep, I remember that. That was a very popular pin.
It was, yeah. I was really happy. That was another one of the first ones that I did. So that was a lot of fun to see.
Cool.
So, yeah.
What do you collect in your personal collection? What are some of your favorites?
For pins?
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm looking. I got them all on this wall over here. You can't see it.
Nice.
But...
Do you have any themes or like
Yeah, I do. I like so I like Halloween, and I like vintage Mickey. So pretty much anything with like classic vintage, like 1920s Mickey. I love all that stuff. I also love Halloween. So like that's why I'm always trying to go to Disney World around Halloween, because I like to grab all those Mickey's Not So Scary pins.
Oh yeah. Those are great.
So those are probably my favorite.
Cool.
There's a Headless Horseman from 2016. It had the like swivel arm.
Yep, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, that one was so cool. Yeah,
I'm hoping there's going to be some more classic Mickey pins coming out this year for the 90th anniversary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too. I always try and think of him when I'm designing. And Halloween pins. I'm hoping to get some Halloween stuff, but the way the schedule works out, we might have missed that window since I'm doing some Christmas stuff, but you never know. I did get to work on a project recently that I've been wanting to work on for a really long time, so that was fun.
Cool.
So,
Can't say anything about that yet, though.
Nope, not yet. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I'd love to talk about, but it hasn't come out yet.
Huh.
So
cool. Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast today. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. It's been awesome. I follow you guys all the time. You do a great job. So
thank you very much.
Props.
Where can they find you at on social? You want to shout out your
Yeah, sure. So I have a website. I'm trying to get all my designs up on my website right now. So it's kind of under construction. If you run into like a weird thing, don't worry. It's chrismroman.com, and my Twitter is at chrisroman. And there's more links on my website, but those are the two main places.
Okay. Do you have Instagram as well, or?
I do, yeah. I'm kind of bad at Instagram. I try to keep up and post stuff, but
Twitter's your main one.
Twitter's the main one,
right.
and then at Chris Roman, the same for my Instagram, or it might be Chris M Roman. I'm not sure. The links are on my website.
All right, cool. And I'll link up your website and your social media on the podcast post and on YouTube, so you guys can easily find it.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you for having me. It's been a blast.
Thanks for being on. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, that's going to do it, guys, for episode number 124 of the DPB podcast. Hope everyone has a great week. See ya.